to another video. In this week's video I'm going to be talking to you all about my experience of wedding dress shopping. I know this is something that a lot of brides either really look forward to or are really worried about, so I thought I would just put my experience out there, and then anyone that hasn't been yet or has it coming up soon has an idea of what to expect if you're on the side of it where you're not hugely looking forward to it. This is a topic that I know I've seen a lot of brides talking about on Instagram, either not being sure what kind of dress you're going for, or being worried about your body confidence, or just really looking forward to it and that you can't wait to go and try a load of gorgeous dresses on. I was somewhere in the middle. While I couldn't wait to go dress shopping and I was really excited to go with my mum and look at all these beautiful dresses and find the dress that I was going to be wearing on my wedding day, at the same time I was also really nervous about it. At that time my body confidence was probably at the lowest it had been. I was the biggest that I've probably ever been, even though I wasn't big, and I didn't have a lot of confidence in what I was going to look like in a dress. I didn't really know what I was going for. I knew a couple of things that I definitely didn't want, but I didn't sort of have a set idea in mind of, yes, this is definitely the dress that I'm looking for. I wasn't sure whether this would be a good thing or a bad thing. It could have been really great because it meant that I had lots of flexibility and that I wasn't looking for something really specific, but at the same time it made it a bit overwhelming because I was thinking there's going to be all these different types of dresses and I'm going to have to try on hundreds of them to maybe find one that I like. So I just booked one appointment to start with to ease myself into it. I thought there's no point booking a load of appointments when either I might absolutely hate it and want to take a little break from it for a while, or I might get lucky and find the dress that I love really quickly. It actually ended up being the latter. I found my dress at that first appointment and I only actually tried on around 4 or 5 dresses. Like a lot of brides, I'd obviously looked online a lot on different websites and on Pinterest and even on Instagram and things like that, and I'd looked at all the different types of dresses that they are and looked at ones that I definitely knew I didn't want and ones that I really liked but I would change bits about, and I had a few ideas of things that I liked but I wasn't 100% sure what was going to be for me. So I was a bit nervous when we first got to our appointment because I didn't really know what to do or what to say. I didn't know if I could just pick out as many dresses as I wanted to try on, or if I had to just tell the lady which I liked and she would put them to one side for me to try on. I was just really nervous about the whole thing in general, and I was really worried about trying on all these gorgeous dresses and them just looking awful on me. I also knew in advance that with a lot of wedding dresses you do actually end up ordering a size up from what you would be in normal clothes, and while I already wasn't brilliantly happy about the dress size that I was, the thought of having to order a size even bigger didn't fill me with a lot of confidence. So at this appointment, me and my mum both picked out a few different dresses for me to try on, and we tried to pick out a few different styles, all of what had things that I was looking for but that were different in other ways so that we could see what we thought worked and what didn't. The owner of the shop also picked out a couple of dresses for me to try on that she thought would suit me, so that I had a lot of different options to work with. To start with, she got me to try on a completely random dress just to see if white would suit my skin tone, because she was telling me that a lot of girls think they definitely want a white wedding dress, and when they actually put it on, it either doesn't suit their skin tone or it makes them look really pale and it just doesn't work for them. I was nervous about this because I had my heart set on getting a white dress. I really didn't like the idea of having ivory. I wanted it to be white. Luckily, when I tried this dress on, which by the way was this huge puffy princessy sort of toilet roll holdery dress that was nothing like what I thought I would want. Luckily when I tried it on, white suited my skin tone. It looked absolutely fine, so that put my mind at rest. But I knew for sure that I definitely didn't want that type of dress. It was huge, I felt like I couldn't move in it. This one that I tried on was no straps with like the heart neckline, and I just constantly felt like I had to keep pulling it up while I had it on, and it just wasn't working for me. I was a bit worried that all the dresses that we were picking out for me to try on were all in cream or ivory, because obviously I knew that I wanted white and there didn't seem to be a lot of range of white ones in the shop. But I did find out from the owner of the shop that most of the dresses can be ordered in white if they aren't there at the time. So that's something to bear in mind when you go dress shopping, is that just because it isn't in the colour that you're wanting in the shop, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can't order it in for you. So at this point I was starting to get a little bit excited. I had all of these different dresses to try on and they were all absolutely beautiful. But then I started trying them. And I tried on about 3 or 4 and each one I tried on was gorgeous on the hanger, but then I put it on and it just didn't suit. It was either too lacy or too frilly or too fitted or not fitted enough, and it was just making me feel a little bit rubbish that all of these gorgeous dresses just didn't look gorgeous when I put them on. Then the owner of the shop asked me to try on one of the ones that she picked. It was nothing like any of the things I said I was looking for, but she asked me just to humour her and to put it on anyway. As soon as I stepped into that dress, I knew that that was the dress I wanted. It just felt perfect. Even though it wasn't anything like what I thought I would go for, it just felt like it was mine from the second I put it on. It was classy and elegant and almost regal, and I just felt like a proper princess in it. It completely boosted my confidence after trying on all those other dresses that didn't suit me, and it just made the whole experience worthwhile. That feeling I got when I tried that dress on, it was absolutely perfect. And the one thing that I have told people about my dress, other than the fact that it's white, is that it has pockets. Not a lot of wedding dresses have pockets, but mine has hidden pockets in the sides, which I just think is such a brilliant little extra detail, and it'll also give me somewhere to keep a little lipstick or something on the day. I just think it's a really fun, quirky little extra to what is such a classic, elegant dress. To me, that just shows that you can have a perfect idea in mind of what you're looking for, or like me, you can have some sort of idea of what you do and don't want, but you could still end up with a dress that is completely different and it'll be the perfect one for you. And that the people that own these shops or work in these shops have been doing this for a long time. They've worked with a lot of brides, a lot of dresses, and chances are they're going to know what will suit you even better than you will, and they're going to know what you want without you even knowing it. I would 100% recommend putting your trust in the people who work in these stores, because you're probably going to find an absolutely amazing dress that you would never have picked out to try on. I did try another couple of dresses on after that one, just to make sure that it definitely was the one, but neither of them compared in any way. They were nice dresses and they weren't as bad as the first ones I tried, but every time I put one of them on, I just kept saying, no, it's not as good as the other one, or it doesn't have this that the other one does, or I don't feel as good in it as I did with the other one. And the fact that I kept comparing all these other dresses back to that one, I just knew that that was the one I had to have. Unfortunately, this is one of the ones that wasn't there in white, so I couldn't actually try it on in the colour that I wanted it to be, but I still knew that it was the perfect dress. Luckily, it was in a price that was roughly what I was sort of imagining that I would pay, and the lady that owns the shop also had a couple of veils that she recommended for me to try with it, and one of them was absolutely beautiful, so I ended up ordering that on the same day as well. I couldn't believe that for somebody like me, who is normally such an indecisive and unsure person, that at my first appointment, within the space of about half an hour and trying on 5 dresses, I'd found the dress that I knew was the one I wanted to wear on my wedding day. I know there's a lot of brides like me that have had to postpone their wedding, either by 12 months or 2 years like we've had to. And I've seen quite a few people on Instagram over the last 6 months or so worrying about whether they're still going to like their dress, or whether their dress will be in fashion by the time their wedding comes around. Now, I know for some people having the most on-trend wedding dress may be important, but in my opinion it's how you feel in it. It doesn't matter whether a dress is the most fashionable or is the most current style of wedding dress. If you still feel amazing in that dress, and if it still feels like the one to you, then it doesn't matter whether it's in all of the newest magazines or whether it would be the most popular one. That's your dress. If it still makes you feel amazing, then it's still the right dress. On the day that I said yes to the dress, I shared a quote on my Facebook page that said, pick the dress that makes you feel most like you, because that's who we fell in love with. And I just think that's the most beautiful quote. I don't know where it came from or who said it, but I think that is the best thing to keep in mind when you go and shopping for your wedding dress. If you find a dress that makes you feel like the best version of yourself and makes you feel completely comfortable and confident in how you look and who you are, then you're going to look absolutely amazing in it, because the version of you that dress makes you feel like is the version of you that your fiancé sees all the time, and like the quote says, that's who he fell in love with. So as long as that dress makes you feel like you, it doesn't matter what style of dress it is, or even really what other people think of it. If you love it and it makes you feel brilliant, then it's perfect. To end this video, I guess my main pieces of advice for anyone who's a bit nervous or anxious about going shopping for your wedding dress is to have a rough idea in mind of some things that you do and don't want, just so that you don't feel completely overwhelmed with the choice. But to know that chances are you might end up finding something completely different anyway. Definitely trust the people who run the bridal shops. They know what they're doing, they're going to know what suits you, and they're probably going to be able to recommend things that you wouldn't even think of, which is what happened in my situation. Don't worry too much if you get there and there's nothing in the colour that you were looking for, because as I said earlier, chances are a lot of the dresses they can order in a variety of different shades and colours. And finally, don't worry about having the most fashionable or the most on-trend dress. You just need a dress that you think is beautiful and that makes you feel amazing. And if you manage to do that, then it's perfect. Don't second guess yourself would be another tip from me. It's really easy, I think, with anything wedding related, to make a decision or be close to making a decision and then think, oh, but what if I see something better? Or, oh, but what if I change my mind about this? With wedding dress shopping, if you find a dress that you feel perfect in and that you feel like is the one, don't feel as if you have to go to a load of other appointments and go and try on all these different dresses, because yeah, you might find another dress that you like, but you also might not. And while I can understand people wanting to see everything that there is out there and everything that every shop has to offer, in my opinion, if you found a dress that makes you feel amazing and you can put it on and think, yeah, this is what I want to wear on my wedding day, then you found the one, and you don't need to waste time going round to loads of other shops and appointments when you've already found it. So from one nervous wedding dress shopper to what I'm sure is a lot of other nervous wedding dress shoppers out there, don't let it get to you too much. I know it can be a bit nerve-wracking and a bit worrying, especially if you're not massively body confident, but you're still going to find a perfect wedding dress, whatever your size and shape. There's a wedding dress out there for everybody, so you're definitely going to find something that'll make you feel amazing. If anybody's got any questions or would like any advice, or if you've even got your own wedding dress shopping stories, then definitely leave them in the comments, or come over and leave them on the post I'll be making about this video on my Instagram. I'll leave that linked below. I hope this video has been of some help to some of you out there, or if it hasn't been any help, I hope you've at least found it interesting or entertaining. I'll be back in a couple of weeks with another video, and thank you all so much for watching.